Good evening, Matinacock District. This is Edie Pulizzotto. I'm Assistant District Commissioner for the Matinacock District, Suffolk County Council BSA. I am going to do tonight's safety moment because Mr. Stu Weinberg is not available to do them for us today. So I'm going to do a safety moment, and who would have guessed I'm going to do digital safety and online scouting activities. This particular safety moment has been updated since the COVID outbreak. Small wonder why, because now we're all using Zoom and we're using WebEx and we're using Google Hangouts or Teams or whatever everybody calls these things to communicate with our scouts and often with each other. When you're doing communicating either troop meetings or den meetings or whatever you're doing online. So please remember to follow all youth protection policies. So that would mean make sure there's 2 leaders on all of your meetings. 2 deep leadership should be followed on any kind of meeting that involves the scouts. Don't forget that applies to text, it applies to emails, especially when you're sometimes as a merit badge counselor you may be receiving emails from a scout and they forget to put another parent or another leader on the email. Please remember to think to respond and add another leader onto the email. All aspects of the program are open to parents. If you have a parent who is looking to be engaged in a merit badge session or a den meeting or a troop meeting, please remember that they are welcome to be there. Please use professional platforms for your communications. Use a Zoom, use a WebEx, use something where you have enough control that if someone starts to crash the meeting, you'll be able to remove them from the meeting. Please remember to update anything from Zoom or WebEx. Make sure you have their latest version because as they are becoming more popular platforms and they're being used more frequently, they are updating their services so that you can remove someone from a meeting, that you cannot admit them until you're sure that they deserve to be there. So please make sure you have the latest version of their software. So when you are on Zoom, please remember that when you're using Zoom, if you have your name printed on the bottom, please try to use your own profile and have your own name on there, because sometimes people use other people's accounts and it becomes confusing for people who may not be using the same name, or they may be using some sort of slang or whatever at the bottom. So please make sure that you have your profile set appropriately. Backgrounds on Zoom are also handy because of the fact that if there's anything going on behind you or anything going on behind a scout, it would not be seen. So please consider using a background as well. Please remember that you are not supposed to record any meeting that you have. This is exactly why we're doing it this way tonight, because the recordings are done individually, and with the permission of the person who is recording the video, we are able to show them at other times or post them at other times. So please do not record any of your meetings. Remember to safeguard your personal information. If you're putting stuff online, please do not put out other people's personal information. Do not gather information directly from a child who is younger than 13 years old. That's part of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and certainly we would not want to violate that. So if you need to get any information from a less than 13-year-old scout, please contact their parents. Please do not share any youth personal information with anyone else other than their parent or guardian or a unit leader's representative. You should not be posting any list of the kids that you have done merit badges with or scouts in your troop or all that information. So please try to remember to safeguard the scouts' information. If you are going to collect a scout's information online, please make sure that you disclose on the forms or in person or on the website or on your Zoom call why you are collecting that information and what you are going to do with the information that you have collected. That's very important. When using Zoom or WebEx, please make sure that your meeting codes are unique, that you're not reusing the same meeting code for troop meetings or den meetings over and over again, and then you will not get a lot of crashers. Using passwords will also help in the same endeavor to keep people out. Also, please do not put out the information too soon before a meeting, because it just allows time for the scouts or others to share that information to someone else. Please remember to use the waiting room when you're starting a meeting. This way you have better control over who will be entering the meeting. It's when you have too deep, it's really helpful to have the second person be available to help you as well, because you can use a co-host. They can better attend to who's coming into a meeting and leaving easier than someone who's trying to speak at the same time. So consider using someone else that can also help you with the waiting room to get people in and out of a meeting. Disable features that you will not need. Don't allow for others to screen share or private chats you may want to also disable, and the use of whiteboards. Every once in a while, whether they mean to or they don't, sometimes they end up on a shared screen, being able to write on it or interfere with it. Sometimes even in my professional life, I've seen where shared screens have been written on and no one seems to know who did it, not even the person who did it. So sometimes it's just better to turn those functions off. Please remember you can also mute everyone in a meeting until if you are finding it hard to control, and then you can just unmute everyone when you're ready. I have to say that through the time that I've been doing merit badges with a lot of scouts, and I've run about probably 10 sessions to this point, every scout that I've had has been courteous, has been smart, and knows how to use the mute function, raise hand function, and everything else. So hopefully your meetings will go smoothly. But please remember to be safe and careful when using the internet. And thank you for listening to the Safety Moment. Have a great night.